Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. And this is our first official episode. We had a prep-isode, but this is the first official episode.
So fun.
It is my pleasure to welcome Kate Goodwin.
My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, to Colleagues for Life. Welcome to the club.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm so happy about this podcast and about your business and that we get to see each other again.
I know, this is so nice.
It is.
It's
fun.
really great. The point is our origin story. So Kate,
Okay.
how did we meet?
I guess it was 2000. It feels way longer.
Yeah.
But it was only 2024?
2024. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
2024, I was working with a health and wellbeing product and had reached out to you at an organization.
Yes.
And just clicked. I thought it was like I looked forward to every time I would call and see if you wanted to buy the products. And I don't know, every time we got on the phone, I just enjoyed talking to you, and you were really like enthusiastic about it, and we seemed to be just on the same page in terms of what we could do with it and what the effect would be and how we could roll it out and the different steps to get it going. And it just was, yeah, I thought we were very aligned, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I was on a team where we had the ability to put forth a recommendation, but of course, little decision-making power when you're in certain public sectors, which is fine. That's, that's the way of it. But I had thought that there was something really special about the service that you had created with this organization.
Yeah.
It seemed like it would make a difference and really hit the mark for the employee group I was working with at that time. And then I left that organization. I was recruited by a different organization and moved along. And I think that's where our story picks up again, is after,
It does, yeah.
after that.
You were gone,
Yeah.
and then I was gone from that place.
Yep.
And then time went on a little bit, and then I had applied for a job. And actually what's cool, I think, about this is I had actually taken down my whole LinkedIn.
Oh.
So I deleted the whole thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just took it all down. I deleted all my contacts and I took it all down. And then when I left that organization and I was looking for a new opportunity, I was like, oh, I feel like I have to be on LinkedIn. I realized I couldn't do that and I had to be on LinkedIn. So I was kind of simultaneously applying for jobs and building my network again. And weirdly enough, I connected with you, and I was like, oh, Megan, remember when we were in contact from this other opportunity? And I, like, how's things been going? I'm glad I found you again because I thought you were really fun and cool. And then you're like, hey, nice to hear from you. And then I was like, well, I just applied for this job. And then you say what happened. I said, I just applied for this job.
You had looked at my LinkedIn and said, I noticed that you had this job.
Yes.
I thought I wanted to reach out and just get a sense of the position and
Yes.
some of your learnings. And I was like, oh, wow, that is incredible that we've reconnected in this way through your applying for my old job.
Yeah.
So I had moved on to a new one at that point, more aligned with psychological health and safety, with some growth. And really, I had taken a bit of a chance on a contract and figured that that's the direction I wanted to go. So it was pretty cool to hear from you in that way, and that you were still doing this work because you're really good at it, and B, just the fact that you applied for my old position and then connected it, and then was like, oh my gosh, it's Megan. Yeah. And then reconnected the dots for us.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really why this whole podcast exists, is the dots that intertwine.
Yeah. I know. It's wild.
Yeah. And then we met for coffee, and I think I feel like that was our glue. We know each other beyond just these physical interactions that happen in life. Yeah. I very much felt that way.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah.
Well, exactly what you said. Like when it was like, this is the job, this is the person. Oh, this is Megan.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, Kate.
we found each other.
Yeah.
And we're clearly like in the same, I don't know, what do you call that? Same bubbles?
Industry, I guess that would make some
Right.
sense. Yeah.
And yeah, so then we went for coffee, and yeah, same. It was like, I remember when I got out of the car, and I hadn't actually ever seen you in person.
Only on the phone or Zoom?
Yeah,
Or
Zoom. So it was only ever online. But I pulled up and I saw you, and I'm like, that's her.
Tell me a bit more about your podcast and that journey.
So again, looking for an opportunity, have to go on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you feel like this, but like I struggle with this. It's like I want to be out there and be seen and have an impact and have a voice, but I also want to be completely invisible.
Yeah.
Like I don't want,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle.
Yeah.
I like to be in all different realms and spaces and stuff. And I also know that like you put energy in something and energy comes, even if it's not in the thing you're putting it in, it just comes, right? Because you're in movement.
Totally.
So I was like, I always wanted to do a podcast, but it's hard when you want to speak, but you don't want anyone to hear you, or you don't want anyone to see you. Yeah, you want to be invisible. So it's hard to do it. So I had said, well, just like LinkedIn, I'm just going to do it, you know? And, you know, when you're looking for a job or an opportunity, you have to put yourself out there.
Well, you also have amazing things to say. That's the other
Oh,
piece.
thank you.
Life asks of us the things that make us uncomfortable, but it's because we have a message to share. And how we do that is keeping the message in is harder than finding a way or a place to deliver that message.
A day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was greater than it took to blossom.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Where is that from?
It's a poem. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was greater than the risk it took to blossom.
And you talking about your podcast had inspired me, because I'd been thinking about a podcast. Anyone who has worked with me in the past, I don't know, 5 years, maybe more, knows that I've always wanted a podcast. I have had my mic set up for this setup and also an individual mic for like 5 years. And so you inspired me to get on it and to do something about it. And I think at one point we even spoke about I told you the name Colleagues for Life.
Yeah.
And we had connected about it in a different way.
Yep.
And I think that's the story of how you ended up being the first official episode of the podcast, is because you and I had spoken about using the name for something. And after we met, I really had to do a little bit of soul searching.
Yeah.
And it came to me that I wanted to do the podcast for Colleagues for Life, and I wanted it to be about the magic of human connection.
Yeah.
And in a way that is keeping people in life.
Totally.
Right?
It's perfect for you. It's perfect.
Yeah. So it is in a sense doing what you and I originally spoke about.
I know.
But it was a departure from it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to honor you.
I had only done one episode, I think.
Yes.
And I still haven't done any afterwards.
Oh.
No, because I got busy with things and I don't want to be seen.
We'll remedy that. Well, you're already being seen, so here you are.
So I had only done the one episode, and then we talked about our connection and coming back and departing from organizations and staying in touch with people.
Yeah.
And you had shared something about when leaving the one position and people saying like, we're going to miss you. And you're like, don't worry. Like, I'm still here. Like, we're colleagues for life.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so beautiful. And then that also then went on to another part, because we were talking just about, you know, the pandemic and about job changes and about, you know, departures and voice and finding yourself and some of those topics. And we talked about exactly how community helps keep us alive.
Yeah.
And that also was like, okay, there's something here. There's Colleagues for Life in some way for us.
Right.
And then we went away. Yeah. And then I totally got it, Megan. I remember you sent me a text and you're like, I know what to do with Colleagues for Life now. But I'm going to do the podcast. I was like, this is perfect. Yes. I just want the idea to bloom. You were so wonderful. And I thought that was also just so beautiful to honor that by inviting me to be your first guest. So it was all perfectly intertwined. Happy for it to generate and evolve in the right way. And happy to be part of that. I was part of it.
It's
all good.
You helped me see what the potential for this was in a new way. And it was a way that is classic of life, is that we need other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
We co-create all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we co-create our own ideas with people.
Totally.
Sometimes we co-create something together.
Yeah.
And sometimes you make things that you realize really belong to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or you do own it together.
Yeah.
I think when you actually sit down and think about ideas and how they're born and how they blossom, there really is an energy about them.
Yeah.
And when an idea comes to you, you can tell when it's yours. You can tell when it's shared.
Yeah.
And there is an intuition to it, even if it's unseen. Yeah.
When that all happened, I remember thinking about Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. Yeah. And she talks about her and I forget that other one.
Anne Planchette and her book, Bel Canto.
And they both thought of the same book.
Yes.
So this whole thing reminded me of that. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is an idea that just needed to maybe move through.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's funny about Bel Canto. So now I'm going into an interesting story. So I did my teaching degree in California.
Oh.
And I had a woman who was my mentor for my second practicum, and she was a Mrs. Hunter and I was a Ms. Hunter. She gave me Bel Canto to read. And I was thinking, woman, I am in my practicum. And I don't know how much you know about teacher college in the States, but it is very different than here. You have a full course load and you're teaching at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're in the school. I think you're in the school for the full half the term up until the Christmas break every day and taking a full course load. So you go to school, learn how to do social studies as you're delivering social studies. It's really good, but it was super overwhelming. Yeah. So I handed this book, Bel Canto, by my practicum teacher, and I was like, yeah, because I have spare time.
Right.
And I read it, and she had given it to me because it was just this, obviously the story is incredible, but I think it was her way of reminding me that if you're going to go into this profession, you need to take care of yourself, and you need these outlets where your brain thinks differently and is just somewhere else for a little bit. Okay, so I get Bel Canto. It's a reminder, if you're going to be a teacher, take care of yourself. And I got lost in this story. And then I had a friend who recommended Big Magic to me, and she said, don't read it, hear it.
Oh, you listened to it.
Yeah, because there's something about Liz Gilbert's voice in that book that was amazing. And so I hadn't read a lot of fiction. I'd been really into leadership development and workplace well-being and all of those kind of papers and stuff. And so that was one of the last fiction books I had read. So I'm listening to Big Magic and she brings up this story and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That's the only fiction book I had read in like a while. Yeah. And it came up in that book.
Big Magic.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, side story.
I don't know anything about that book. I only know that book through Big Magic.
Oh, go read it. Yeah. It's lovely.
I'm not into fiction right now either.
That's okay.
I'm reading Elizabeth Gilbert's other book, All the Way to the River.
We'll give our audience a reading list.
That's a good idea.
And then you can tell us if it's worth her time, yeah?
But anyways, remember when we pressed the flower?
Yes, I do.
I came home and I just bought this book and the flower was in here for a long time.
That's so sweet.
But it has since gone to upstairs.
And that in itself feels a bit symbolic in the bud analogy or the poem that you gave. And then when we met the first time, there was these flowers that had landed on the table.
Yeah.
And we both took them and pressed them into the journals that we had or the books that we had at that time.
Yeah.
So
it is a nice analogy.
It's kind of a little metaphor for us.
Yeah, the flower.
Yeah. Okay, I want to know what you're up to now. What are you into? You've got a podcast.
I have had my own company for about 15 years.
Okay.
And because I graduated university in 2008, which was when there was no jobs.
That's why I didn't end up being a teacher.
Yeah. So
I came home in 2010 and there were
no jobs.
There were no teaching jobs.
Oh my gosh, my convocation speech was Dean was the most depressing thing ever. He was basically got up on the thing and was like, good luck.
It was cheers to the millennial experience.
And I had a double major in religion and philosophy and my minor in film. Right. I guess I'm going to work at a restaurant, which I did for like the next 10 years. I went around and about and became a yoga teacher, and then I started this company, and then I got hired to teach yoga, at a hospital, and then I went into journalism, and then I realized that if you want to be a reporter, you have to be on TV and people have to see you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
brings us right full circle
to
the beginning.
I can't do that.
Okay.
I can't do that. So that was that. I'm not sure what to do with that. And then I'm like, well, maybe I'll go and do a degree in communication. So I did that. And then I went to India. I wrote my thesis in India on meditation. It's really fit for me. I finally found my home, I think. And then I decided during the pandemic, when I had two children, like a baby and a toddler, that I would do another master's degree in counseling psychology, because why not?
Well, that's what you do during the pandemic. You have babies and you get a master's degree.
Right?
That's my story too. But I had one baby. It was a great time to go back to school.
I started and I didn't know the pandemic was coming.
Same. I started in 2018.
So,
yeah.
And then I just like, I have this thing where I have to finish everything, you know?
Yeah.
I just do. I have to finish it. So anyways, but the whole time, because of 2008, sorry, I got off track. But because of 2008 and them saying, good luck, I thought I always have to have a backup plan. So I just was very anxious, smart and anxious from the get-go. So I always thought, well, at least if I have my own business, even if everything crashes, I can depend on myself.
Yeah, that's really forward thinking. I don't think a lot of young adults would have had that mindset at the time.
Thank you. So the company's been around for like 15 years now. Yeah. And I just sort of keep it in the background. And sometimes I would use it to do like writing, journalism writing, because then nobody can see you. I got some opportunities. So I'm actually working for myself right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks. How does it feel to have that full circle moment of ownership of your life?
Yeah, it's cool. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it's always what works for you. I was never good at cold applying for a job or going in for an interview. That has never worked for me. Nothing ever feels right to me unless it kind of comes organically. To answer your question, how does it feel? It feels really good.
Yes.
It feels right.
Yeah.
And it feels special. You know, it's awesome. But there's also always a part of my brain that says I should be doing it differently, or like I should be working at the post office for 20 years and retiring.
Everyone experiences life differently.
Yeah.
I find that, and maybe it's just where I travel and where I am in life, but I have not met a ton of people of our vintage and have been with the same company in the same job for their entire career. I don't think it's not the same world that we were told exists.
That's just it. That's where that probably that voice is coming from. Right. So although I'm like, this feels right and it feels awesome, there's that lingering voice or narrative from when you're little. When we grew up, get a job, right? It's going to work out.
Yeah.
You're going to work for a company. You're going to get
pension benefits.
Pension. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And they're going to keep you forever. Yeah.
But you're right. We grew up. we grew up before the internet.
Yeah.
Gen Z, be nicer to us millennials.
And are your older cousin.
And the fact is everything changed when we got the internet. And we have, I know every generation has their thing, but that was like discovering fire.
Yeah. It changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really did. And it's a different world of work and life and the way that we do really everything.
Yeah.
And we still have parents who see the world quite differently and may or may not have kept up with how the internet changed the world. That reinforces that message where we're like, oh, I didn't do the thing that you raised me to do. Yeah. All the sacrifice that I'm doing for my kid.
Yeah.
Or my kids that you raised me to do, I didn't do. So it's almost like you show up at their door and you're like, I'm sorry I failed you.
I know. But meanwhile, you're like,
I have to survive.
I'm doing the thing that I wanted to do. And I remember Natalie Portman saying something like that after her dad said to her, okay, so I know you're doing this whole acting thing, but go to Harvard and go get a real job.
The woman was in Star Wars.
So it's kind of, I'm really happy about you doing this podcast because it resonates with exactly what I want people to feel. And what I think women entrepreneurs in particular are really special and have a lot to give to the world and to this economy and to this particular moment in time.
Yeah.
And so when I see women starting their businesses, like your business and your podcast, it's just like, I think it's utopia. Yeah.
And it's so funny where it's almost easier to see it in other people because these are the things I see in you and like your business, your podcast, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And then you say it to me and I'm like, yeah, whatever. We kind of need each other to the strength of and the impact of that.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And that's why Colleagues Life is so beautiful. But you have brought me along for this launch. And so it's good for both of us and all of us.
Thanks for that. It just wouldn't be the same without you. I said you'd be my first official guest, so here you are.
Very honored.
So I think we've kind of gone into, and I told you it'd be an awkward transition. The questions that I have that I will have our guests answer, and that's what makes you a good colleague in life, Kate Goodwin.
You know, Megan, a lot of the people that I am friends with today
Yeah.
are people I've worked with.
Aw.
Actually, who I would consider my best friends, other than one person. Like, there's only one other person, and I have known her since we were in kindergarten. She's my best friend for life. But other than that, most of the people that I am friends with are people I worked with or met through work. I have two very dear friends that in difficult times during the pandemic were my number one and number two on my phone. And I worked with them at the bank when I was 20. And I worked with them at the hospital. So I can appreciate what they bring to me. What would make me a good colleague for life, I think, is I really thrive with relationships that are drama-free. And I think maybe because most of my career has been in workplace well-being, maybe I've attracted that. And so I think what makes me a good colleague for life is I believe in the best of everyone and the best version. And there's no competition, there's no drama. I'm genuinely happy when people succeed. Cool. We can maybe come too.
Yeah.
Like they're opening a door or she's doing something awesome. So I think what makes me a good colleague for life is I see people's strengths and potential, and I'm genuinely a cheerleader for it.
I can see that in you for sure. And even just finding out that you write as well. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's more opportunity. So yeah, I get that. You celebrate the steps that people take and you celebrate who they are and what they're doing. And you have more that lens of, oh, look what's possible and look what they're doing to better the world.
Yeah.
That's a cool lens to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot promise you I'm always drama free though.
That's a type of drama that I like.
A different kind.
Yeah, I like that drama.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, we should talk about that one time. We should talk about that one time.
Story drama. The drama, your mama's drama or your other drama?
I've been wanting to say this my whole life. So when I was in high school, I had a horrible time. It was the worst, which is probably why I loved work so much. And probably why I was like, I wanted to create a business and hated high school. Anyways, at my prom, they were giving out all these awards and who's most likely to this and that. And then you know what they gave me? They said biggest drama queen.
Oh.
And then they said Kate Goodwin. And they called me up and they gave me this silly pink boa. And they said that it was because I liked acting. But it wasn't. It was me. I know. So I have spent a lot of time what drama I like. So there's different degrees of drama. We should talk about this.
Because I want to refrain. I think you weren't the drama queen in the way that they probably framed it. Well, what I think you are is you were just really good at story. Okay. Did you hear your path? Journalism, communications, you've written a book, you have a podcast, you help other people with their narratives. You're not about drama. You are just deeply embedded in story of self and others and life. You are a catcher of life's story. That's a gift. That's a beautiful gift.
Thank you. But so I guess all that to say, I'm okay with your drama. Because it's cool.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I love it. So then the other question is, what makes someone else a good colleague? What do you look for in your colleagues in life?
So what do I look for in colleagues? I look for that sense of chemistry and attunement. I like people that will maybe hold the door or be respectful in meetings, like those things for colleagues. But a colleague for life is different.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So what do I look for in a colleague for life? You bond over funny things. You care about each other.
You press flowers the first time you meet at a coffee shop.
You do. And you care about their dog. You care about what's going on in their life, right? And when you have a colleague that will reach out and say, how are you really doing? And mean it. Yeah. Not like the scripts, right? When you can feel it, right? And sometimes it's people that you don't expect, right? I can remember going through a really hard time at work. And it was like everyone knew I was going through a hard time at work. I remember there was this one gentleman and walked down the hall and just the way that his eyes were and the tone of his voice and a hand on the elbow and how you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
the one that gets you to the
Yeah.
core where you're like, you're asking me because you're asking me, not because of anything else.
And that's the kind of person that you find again on LinkedIn and say, hey, because I don't know, all of the garbage or barriers or scaffolding between people just seems to not be there. And when you meet people like that, they are colleagues for life. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Just care.
Yeah, they care.
People who care.
Yeah.
I love that. They ask not because they have to, because they want to.
Colleagues for life. There's some real special ones.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you were a real special one, Kate. I really appreciate you being on the podcast,
Just
kicking
so
it off
honored.
for us here.
I'm so glad you kept asking. I thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited for you.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the club. Colleague for life.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. Thanks, friends. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
So happy you were here. Until next time, my friends, stay real.
Yeah.
Be a colleague.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.